But first this hour, Manchester City manager Roberto Mancini has now accepted defeat in the title race just 5 games into this new season, claiming Chelsea will win the Premier League and they'll win it easily. The two sides square up in the lunchtime showdown tomorrow.
Despite having invested so heavily over the summer, Roberto Mancini is struggling to put together his defence.
Richards, injury. Lescott worked for 1 day with the team yesterday, but is not ready to play 90 minutes.
Bridge,
Injury.
Kolarov still,
Yeah.
Boateng still.
Boateng worked 1 week with the team, but is not ready to play 100%.
Sean Wright-Phillips is also on the injured list, but Emmanuel Adebayor returns. It's a frustrating time for the manager, who spent nearly £130 million in the transfer window.
I'm disappointed because we have all these players injured in this moment. It's an important moment for us, but that's it.
And while many see City as potential challengers when it comes to the Premier League title, Mancini doesn't see anyone getting close to Chelsea.
I think that Chelsea is the best team in this moment. In Premier League, I think that probably they win a Barca's Premier League easy, because it's a strong team, play together for many years.
So the expensively assembled squad will be stretched to its limits as City prepare to take on the side they'd love to replace in the success stakes. Fraser Dainton, Sky Sports.
Manchester City were the only team to beat you twice in the league last year. What is it about them that makes them particularly difficult opponents?
This was the past. I think that was a difficult moment for us, above all when we lost at home. But now it's a different story. I think that I want to judge my team. We have more confidence. I respect last year compared to last year. We are in a good moment, and I think that we can do better in compared to last match at Manchester.
Carlo Ancelotti said this would be their first big test of the season, and this is what Roberto Mancini had to say at his weekly news conference.
But I think that Chelsea is the best team in this moment. In Premier League, I think that probably they win a Barca's Premier League easy, because it's a strong team, play together for many years, and they have a fantastic manager, but they worked for this in the past.
Now, Matt, we were listening to that, and you were saying you can't say that. He did say it. What kind of message does that send out to the Man City fans?
That was a really strange thing to say for ahead of the game. I think if you're a Man City supporter watching that, you're kind of wondering where your manager's coming from and what his ambitions are. When you see the money that's been spent on the squad, and then after 5 games you've got the manager coming out and saying that he's given up the title already and that Chelsea are going to win it easy. I don't think the City supporters will be too pleased about that. I think he's probably trying to take a little bit of the pressure off of himself, just in case the result doesn't go right tomorrow and they find themselves 10 points adrift of Chelsea at this early stage. But I don't think that's the right thing to be saying at this point in the season. As
you rightly say, if you're Sheikh Mansour and you put in 337 million, what are you thinking tonight about your manager's comments?
I'm sure he'll be looking at that and thinking that's not what I want to hear from my manager. You know, their ambitions are much higher than that. They've got to be looking at getting fairly close to Chelsea this season. You don't want the manager coming out and saying that Chelsea are going to win it easy. He needs to be in a position where, if they're going to improve year on year, he has to be in a position where maybe they can get within, maybe 8 points of Chelsea at the end of the season. And if they can do that, I think that would be considered a success for Manchester City this season, and then they can look to move forward again next season. But to concede the title and, Chelsea are going to win it easy, bizarre.
Well, he said it. No doubt about it. He said it. Plenty of talent, Matt, on show for both sides. If we can take a look at some of the key individuals. Matt, we'll talk about that front line in just a minute. That's a good point you're making. What about City's midfield? How highly do you rate Adam Johnson? Well, what can he give them?
I rate Adam Johnson very highly from what I've seen of him. Obviously, he's still searching for the consistency, if you like, of being, you know, we saw him in the 2 England games where he was outstanding. And if he can produce that form week in, week out for City, then you're looking at a world-class performer. At the moment he's very good and does have the potential to go further. But I like what I see of this boy. He's got a lot of ability there.
And the potential to go further, what will take him to that next level?
Well, as I said, the performance that he put in for England, Man City will want to see that week in, week out for them. You know, with wingers, there's always a tendency to think that they drift out of games and they don't get involved often enough. But I think he's got enough about him that if the game's not going his way, he can go and force himself to get involved in it. And I think he could go. Yeah, he could go to the very top. Yeah.
And Matt, did the move from Middlesbrough come at the right time for him?
Definitely. I think that was the difference for me, Jim, between Adam Johnson's move to a big club and Theo Walcott's move to a big club. I think Theo went a little bit too early, and we've seen how long it had taken him to kind of adjust and adapt. And a shame that he got injured, because we were just starting to see the best of him this season as well. But Adam, you know, had the seasons in the Championship. Maybe toughen him up a little bit, and I think the move to Man City came at the right time when he was a bit more mature and had a bit more experience, definitely.
Two of the Premier League's most feared strikers, if you like, Tevez and Drogba, they go head to head in this one, and that is exciting in itself. Of all of City's big name players, Matt, how important has Tevez become?
Again, I think the fact that he's been made captain just shows you what Manchester City think about him. You know, you'd really look to a captain to be kind of the inspiration on the pitch and somebody who's a bit vocal. Now, obviously Tevez's English isn't brilliant, so it was a strange appointment, but I think what they're looking at is the way that he leads by example. It's a different kind of captaincy. You know, I was captain at Southampton for a couple of seasons, and that's kind of what I did. I tried to lead by example, and when my form dropped, I didn't want to be captain anymore because I wasn't offering enough to the team as a captain. But he's been phenomenal for them. There's no two ways about it. And as we see, he had a good record against Chelsea last season, so they'll be very wary of Carlos Tevez.